So I'm pretty excited because I'm finally interested in working on a piece of music again for myself. First time in literally years, believe it or not. It might sound strange since I'm a coach for musicians and a professional violinist, but that's the truth. So I am, for some reason, things are finally coming together again to get me excited. And so I bought a new microphone to make better recordings on my phone with my violin, because the other stuff was just sounding really bad, even though it's a good phone. So I got a special microphone for this purpose. And I was just practicing a little bit, and I just had to share with you that one of the things that really makes me want to keep practicing, the thing that excites me, one thing that excites me about practicing is when you practice well. And I'm talking about a specific little measure that I worked on the second page of the Prokofiev after the double bar, if anybody is really curious. But I'm going to play it in a moment. It's one bar of music where I played through it a couple times and it just didn't feel great. So I practiced it slowly. I did what I call stained glass practicing on it. I took it apart, slowed it down, brought in my specific way of thinking from the Alexander techniques called constructive thinking, kind of let go, got out of the way. Practiced really mindfully with these techniques. And not long. I'm talking about maybe a minute or less that I spent really mindfully, intentionally exploring this measure of music. What I discovered in that minute, maybe 2 minutes, by practicing this way, it's a way that allows you to be open to new ideas. It's a way to really learn in the moment. The way I practiced it, I was so open to being creative that I suddenly realized that my hand was shifting to the wrong places because it didn't really know what was next. So for example, I was doing like I was going to third position here, but my first finger was not quite in the right place, and then things weren't really in the right place, so it felt hard. So I could, play it. I could easily sight read this. I've heard this in the past, and I've worked on it in bits over the years, but I never really learned this piece. So it feels quite new, even though I know what it's supposed to sound like for the most part. When you get to these weird intervals in some places, it's not immediately obvious. So it feels a little like sight reading. And my hand wasn't really in the optimal shape to get these intervals in tune easily. But what I'm trying to share here is that I was able to work on it in a way that got my old habits and preconceived ideas about where my hand was supposed to go totally out of the way. And I realized that if I am playing this, and I know in my mind what the next note is, and specifically I'm talking about the first finger not finding its right place. If I know I'm going here, and I'm thinking ahead, my thumb is in the right place. Now, that's all right. That's no big deal. But then I have to shift, and I go, now here's where I was getting in trouble. I was going for the B flat, but I wasn't aware that I was going to have to play an A flat next. Now, if I'm playing those three notes, where is the optimum place for my thumb? What if I just have that question in the back of my mind as I'm playing, and I don't try to impose a correct place for that thumb to go? So I don't have a preconceived idea of the shape my hand needs to be in to get there. But I'm very aware of exactly what notes I'm playing and the next one where I'm going. So I know these notes. That's where I'm going. And then here, I was just playing, that's easy, but then my first finger wasn't optimum, right? So it just felt strained. So what I did is I slowed it down, did constructive thinking, knowing where the first finger was aiming and how it was supposed to sound, letting my hand go where it's like my brain, the unconscious part of my brain really knows the best setup, the best arrangement of parts of my body. So my brain knows exactly what my muscles need to do here and here and here and here and here and here and here, because it really involves the whole body. My brain knows how to organize everything optimally, but my thinking, prefrontal cortex part of the brain really has no clue. So this part of my brain really has to get out of the way and trust and just let the rest of me find the way. So I realized my thumb needed to be in a completely different place to get those first fingers in tune. So it was more like, see, I was going here instead of here. Instead of this. This is like an old habit of mine. I can play it though. I can play it that way, but it's really not optimal. This way was much easier because I have this nice anchor here and there's a nice balance of the shape of my hand, and my thumb is flexible and can move. It's like it knows before the rest of me where it needs to go so that all of those notes can be easily played. I hope this is making sense. But the really fun thing about this for me was that, okay, I worked at this measure, like I said before, mindfully, slowly, with stained glass practicing, with constructive thinking, and all this process that I just explained for you. It really was like a minute, 2 minutes maximum. And then as I'm doing more and more in the last few days that I'm practicing, I'm leaving things early, quickly. I only worked on it for a very short amount of time, and then I went to another passage. Worked on that for a while, and then maybe went to something else, and then I felt like coming back to this. And you know what? I just played through that line, the next line, and then I stopped playing, and I'm like, so where was that hard part? And it dawned on me, I had played through that measure the new way without even realizing it. I didn't even remember that had been difficult. And in that moment, I was totally blown away. I'm like, wow, I know that what I teach works, and my students know it. They prove it to me like every time we have a master class, and we do that multiple times a month. But I haven't been practicing much in a long time, and I really haven't applied these things to myself, like I said, in years, really. So I'm just coming back to it, and I'm getting really excited because one thing the last thing I want to say is that I got back into my violin before I went to India for just a little bit, maybe a couple of weeks. I got back into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so much has improved from not playing my violin for like 3 years. That blew me away, and it got me interested in practicing. But then I went to India. I did not bring my violin to India. And then when I came home, I wanted to get back into practicing, but then we went to Alabama, and it's just like, I didn't want to go through the hassle of bringing my violin to these places. So it wasn't until kind of the rest of my life was a little more settled back home again. And now, just a few days ago, I started practicing. I got this microphone, and I'm excited. But now suddenly I'm realizing, wow, my skills have kind of skyrocketed in the last few years without touching my instrument because of all the magical holistic techniques, the Art of Freedom method that I practice in my everyday life. And it includes Alexander technique, it includes hands-free primal Alexander technique, but for me, it's the Art of Freedom method that is open to the magic that can happen when you get out of your own way, when you let go in mind, body, and spirit is a huge part of it for me. That doesn't mean it's not scientific. That doesn't mean it's not logical. But it does mean that there's a mystery that we may not understand, and it's much bigger than us. So the things that I teach help us tap into that mysterious magic. And I'm experiencing it for myself more and more. I see it in my students all the time. But since I've been doing this for so long, now that I'm actually applying it with excitement and enthusiasm and curiosity, I am just amazed at the little things that happen that are not little. What just happened to me in this passage is huge. It was hard to play it easily. I didn't even really know what the notes were when I took it out this morning. Practiced it for just a minute, 2 minutes maximum, the way I described. Left it, came back, played through it, went on to something else and stopped and thought, okay, now where was that place that I worked on? I should work on that some more. And then realizing that I had already completely solved the problem. It didn't require any more work. I didn't even notice that I had played it because it was so easy. So anyway, just a personal little experience I wanted to share with you. Stay tuned for probably a lot more of these kinds of things that I want to share with all of you. And I am thinking about creating some kind of a new program to teach this method, the Art of Freedom method. It's really a manifestation process. It is so practical. Like what I just showed you, this like as practical as it gets. I solved a practical problem like that with excitement, joy, and freedom, and it's fun. I feel like my practicing is already successful. It's like I can stop now after just a couple of minutes, but I'm motivated to do more. To me, that's really fun practicing. It's inspired practice, and I want to teach you and like the world how to do this, because the implications for our whole lives are so huge. So if you're curious about more of this, if you want to know more, and you might be interested in learning some of this over the summer, I would love to hear from you. Get on my wait list to learn about this mysterious program that I haven't even really decided what I'm going to do yet. Get on the wait list so that I can send you details. Just comment on this video and say curious, the word curious. Put the word curious into the comments wherever you're seeing this. If it's an email, just send me an email with the word curious in the subject line. You don't have to send me a message, but that means to me that you're interested, and I will keep you posted on what comes my way that might come your way to inspire your practice in magical, mystical, amazing, mysterious ways that will blow you away. See you later.